Alice, where did you go off to?
I'm heading to pick up Aurora from school.
Oh, is it that time already? The day has just flown by.
It has indeed. I'll do the shopping for dinner while I'm out. I was so busy with work all morning that I didn't get a chance to go.
You can hardly call that work. You don't even know if you'll be able to make any money doing that. It's more like a little hobby, I'd say. How do you even plan to sell that stuff?
Recently, I've been listing the finished products online. You might be surprised to hear this, but I've actually been pretty swamped with orders lately. Even I'm a little shocked that there's such a high demand for these.
Demand for those? What's so special about them? They don't look like anything I couldn't make, those quilts.
Oh, well, if you know how to, why don't you make one to show me? I'd be glad to have a reference to use.
Unlike you, I don't have any free time to be wasting on hobbies. I just wouldn't be able to find the time to make one.
Oh, that's somewhat unexpected. You never look particularly busy when I see you around the house every day.
Are you calling me a liar? The absolute gall! Whatever. I won't let you ruin my day. In fact, things are looking up. I just got some good news.
Did you? What happened?
Collett called and told me that she's pregnant.
Collett is? That is good news.
Yes, and I've been just giddy about it ever since she called me. I have been hoping for some time now that call would come. And I'm sure that Colette's child, quite unlike yours, will be just beautiful.
Do you have to say it like that? You don't have to put someone else down when you give someone else a compliment, you know? It's not like it's some zero-sum game. And it really hurts when you say things like that about Aurora.
Spare me the lecture, Alice. You of all people should know better than to do that. And who asked anyhow? It doesn't matter how it makes you feel. What's important is that I finally have a grandchild.
You already have a grandchild in Aurora? You even see her every day?
Yes, but she looks just like you, doesn't she?
I guess. Everyone seems to think so. But I'm struggling to see how that's relevant.
It's relevant because they say that for a reason. And the reason they say that is because what they really mean is that she's got your ugly genes. If only she looked more like her father, Tim. It's a damn tragedy to have one's granddaughter be so homely.
Maybe you should ask Tim about how he feels about it, because Tim doesn't agree with you. He said that he's grateful to have such a pretty daughter.
Well, even if that's the case, what else is he going to say about his own daughter? He did choose you, after all. That alone speaks volumes about how little he appreciates beauty. He just doesn't have an eye for it, I'm afraid. It's actually quite the character flaw of his, I've always thought that. And because of that, I've always known there was a chance that any child you two had could end up looking like you, which I've always felt was a terribly regrettable state of affairs.
Don't you think you're being a little harsh here? People don't exactly get to choose how they look, not when it comes to inherited features at least. Also, just because Tim disagrees with you, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with him. And it would hurt Aurora if she knew that this is how you spoke about her behind your back.
That's just something she's going to have to get used to. It may be the first, but it won't be the last time she'll hear someone say that about her. With her face, there's no telling if she'll even be able to marry in the future. Therefore, she needs to be raised to be strong so that she can live on her own if it comes to that. I'm only thinking of her when I say those things.
I do want her to be an independent girl when she grows up, but I really don't think that that's what you're doing here. At the very least, I can't condone how you're going about it.
You would disagree with me. You do on everything else. It's very one-note of you, Alice. I get tired of dealing with it, especially because it's not at all your place to talk back to me.
I won't disagree with you about everything, and it's unreasonable to expect me to.
Your disagreeableness really doesn't do you any favors. It's quite the combination with that face of yours.
Are you done?
It's only natural that the grandchild you gave birth to suffers from the same lack of charm. I wanted to love her, I really did, and I should even say that I deserve credit for my efforts. But my grandchild is going to be Collett's child, and that child alone.
That's just being heartless to Aurora. I don't mind you being cruel to me, but I won't stand for you treating Aurora the same way you treat me.
I do pity that girl. To go through life without being thought of as pretty, and through no fault of her own but simply having been dealt the bad hand of her mother's lousy genetics. I see nothing but hardships awaiting her.
I totally disagree with your assessment. Aurora is perfectly pretty in her own right. You're really stretching the truth here, Susan.
I'm not the type to tell lies, Alice. Once my thoughts reach my lips, they just slip out. And that is a failing of mine, I'll admit. But I won't stand for being called a liar. But there's no doubt about Collett's child. She'll bring me a lovely little grandchild, I just know it.
That's just all well and good, I guess. I hope you get what you want.
And I will. I just know it. What's more, Collett'll be coming home to have the baby soon enough.
Oh, is that part of the good news as well?
Indeed it is. I couldn't be happier that she decided to come here for the birth. It will be her first, and it's only natural for girls to be with their parents who in turn can guide them through such a stressful experience. So I'm looking forward to being able to help her after the birth. Hopefully that means some quality time with my new grandchild as well.
That does sound nice, I suppose. When I had Aurora and said that I'd have her at a hospital near my parents, you scolded me. You said I was simply taking advantage of the goodwill of my parents to have them help out with the birth. But I guess now it's fine when Collett does it?
Alice, come on. You are just my son's wife. It's obviously not at all the same. Collett, on the other hand, is my baby, and that makes her special. The rules are different when it's your own child. I'm sure you agree.
I'm not sure I agree, but that logic should apply to me and my parents equally, no?
God, you are so annoying with your mental gymnastics.
It seems like plenty sound reasoning to me.
God, must you insist on arguing, Alice? You really are detestable. Stop it with the nonsense back-talking. I have a task for you. Go and free up a room in the house for me.
A room? What for? I'm not sure we have a room that can be easily cleared right now.
You're using Collett's room as an office, aren't you? That's the room I want emptied. Since she'll be here for the birth, I want you to clean it for her. I want her to have her own space while she's here. We must prioritize her in all of this.
Okay, I can do that. I guess I'll just do my work in the living room if that's fine with you.
It's not fine at all.
Why not? I don't think it's asking too much.
You'll be an eyesore planted in the living room all day. On top of that, you'll be in everyone's way.
Well, then I won't be able to get any work done. I do have outstanding commissions, so we'll have to have some place where I can assemble them even while Collett is here.
It's not like what you were doing was of particular importance anyway.
I'm not sure my clients who've already paid in advance will agree with you there.
You can hide yourself away in some corner so as to not bother anyone else.
Geez, that's harsh.
I see you've gone to fetch your little goblin already.
What do you want now? And I'm pretty sure I told you before, but calling her names like that is really starting to get on my nerves.
That is the exact feeling I have when I have to look at you every day.
Susan, this is exhausting. Just cut to the chase and tell me what you want.
You won't have to come home anymore. Not here, at least. For one, I'm tired of looking at you. But also, you're getting in the way of Collett raising her child.
Getting in the way of what exactly?
I'll tell you, but let me finish. Your things were a blight on the interior of the house, so I gathered them up and moved them outside for you.
Outside? What the hell did you do?
It's that work equipment that you were keeping in the living room. Collett says that it's in the way. So I was quick to take care of it for her.
She can say whatever she wants, but I've already cleared out a room for her and I didn't have anywhere else to put it.
Be that as it may, loitering in the living room all day toiling away creates problems for us. And further, Collett is finally home now. You should be more thoughtful of her situation and do more to help her out. That's the least you can do to make up the pains we go through having to look at you every day. And why don't you try doing it without me asking you to as well?
But I've already taken on so many requests. I can't possibly fulfill them while taking extended time off to attend to Collett.
If you must do that, then do it somewhere else. It's depressing having it done in the house. It's like my living room has turned into a damn sweatshop.
Doing it somewhere else is impossible, and I certainly can't do it outside. You're going to have to compromise with me here.
No, I don't think I will. And since it's of little importance to anyone monetarily, why don't you just give it up for the time being? You could even spend some of your extra free time trying to invent some way to cure yourself of your ugliness.
I can't just quit these contracts because of some strange resentment you have against me. I'm pretty sure I told you this last time, but people are counting on me to get these done and shipped to them. They've already paid in advance. And also, Tim supports me in doing this work. I even have a booth at an upcoming local event to display some finished products. There will be plenty to do to prepare for that, and the marketing I get from that event will be invaluable for spreading my name.
My, that was quite the monologue there. And none of it contained anything that concerns me. Nothing you can say will change what I've already done. Your stuff is no longer in this house, and I will not allow it to be brought back in either. And I took out Aurora's belongings while I was at it.
What? Aurora didn't do anything wrong. And I thought you were just talking about my work supplies. What else have you tossed out?
I was just thinking that it might be a bad influence to Collett's child to have you two around her. So while I was dismantling the living room sweatshop, I just kept going and started boxing up your and Aurora's belongings as well.
What? A bad influence on a baby that hasn't even been born yet?
You never know what could happen. I don't want anything to impact my beautiful grandchild before she's born.
Okay, explain it to me then. How exactly is our presence going to cause Collett's baby any harm whatsoever?
The mother's environment is important. You know that. It would be terrible if your ugliness was even in the slightest bit contagious.
What a ridiculous attempt at concocting a reason! And that's obviously not how that works!
The dreariness of the environment was not something that I was going to tolerate any longer.
Are you kicking us out of the house? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's why I said that you don't have to come home earlier. Is that clear enough for you? Sometimes I feel like I have to spell things out for you that I feel like you should pick up on. It seems it's not just the outside that's rotten. There's really just no saving you. Most people at least have one or two good things about them.
I can't believe you would go this far.
I thought I would have to, or you wouldn't leave. That's why I took care not to break any of your things when I was removing them from the house. And I did it for you because I didn't want to have you moping about packing up your things.
So I can interpret this as we're not welcome there anymore?
That is exactly what I'm saying. And what a pain it was to have all of those things of yours moved. But it's nothing too bad when I think that I'm doing it all for my future grandchild.
It really is night and day the way you treat me versus how you treat Collett. It's almost as if Collett's child is your true first grandchild.
That's exactly how I feel about it as well.
That makes it sound like you're rejecting Aurora as your grandchild.
Haven't I said as much before? You are like a stranger to me. The same goes for your daughter. And she is certainly no grandchild of mine.
I've been thinking about this, but do you really mean that? It's sometimes hard to imagine someone actually believing some of the evil things you say.
Of course I do. I couldn't possibly think of a child who's identical to you as my grandchild. And your child is of no future need now that Collett is having hers.
I moved in because I thought you would be lonely by yourself.
It's not like I asked for you to do that. Don't go acting like I owe you something. That was all you're doing.
And you want Aurora gone as well, I guess? For whatever reason, your granddaughter is also not welcome at your house?
Naturally. Like I said, her stuff is right beside yours outside. I guess this is what they meant by spring cleaning. I have to make sure my grandchild has a nice clean house with all the unnecessary harmful stuff removed.
Fine then, I get it. We'll leave if you insist. Although I think you'll regret going about things like you have. I wouldn't be so quick to go burning bridges at your age. Thanks for everything, I guess.
Wonderful. I'm glad you're finally listening to me. I'm just so relieved that I won't have to see that face of yours again. You really were nothing but trouble for me.
Whatever you say. But at least someone feels good about this.
What? Feeling the existential weight of reality? You should be. You could have just acquiesced with my request from the beginning. Just the two of us. We'll be able to live so peacefully. Hey, Alice! Have you spoken with Tim recently?
What about Tim? Do you need him for something?
He hasn't been back for the past couple of days. He won't return my calls, and it doesn't seem like he even reads my messages.
I mean, isn't it obvious why he's not coming home? He's together with me, as is only natural.
What? Together with you? Why would he do that?
We're husband and wife? Why wouldn't we be together?
So, Tim isn't coming back then?
Like I said, shouldn't that be obvious? He said his home is with Aurora and I. Anywhere else just wouldn't be the same. So we're all living together at our new place.
But this is all news to me. Why did he not even bother to tell me about this? No doubt you've been working to turn him against me. I can't believe you would gaslight your husband into hating his own mother. How else do you explain him not saying anything about this to me?
Wow, that's quite the fanciful story you've invented there. I'm afraid the reality is that he just couldn't be bothered to tell you. He thought you'd really crossed the line when you threw my stuff out and drove us out of the house. I didn't do anything to convince him to move out. He decided to do that all by himself. I just told him that you told us we weren't welcome there anymore. After hearing that, it seems like his mind was already made up.
I only did it because he wouldn't. No matter what happened, he wouldn't tell you two to leave, so I was just doing him a favor. How am I the one in the wrong for doing that?
Is that really how you see things still? You said that I was like a stranger to you and you treated me as such. Actually, I would rather hope that you don't really treat strangers that poorly. Anyhow, since Tim and I haven't gotten a divorce and you kicked out Aurora and I, don't you see how that would lead to Tim leaving as well?
But I'm his mother. Every boy should pick his mother over his wife.
I don't know which 19th century psychologist you picked that up from, but I hate to tell you that it's not true. Tim merely tolerated your bad behavior towards us, but he was never happy about how you were conducting yourself. And he said that he warned you that he wouldn't stand for it any longer, that you were given a warning about what might happen if you kept it up.
But I never thought that he was actually serious about going through with any of it. I assumed that he was just trying to stand up for you by doing that. He's kind to a fault, that one. So it seemed plausible that that was all it was.
Talk about mental gymnastics. I'm impressed you somehow managed to reach such a self-serving interpretation of events. Well, it is what it is, so I guess that means it's egg on your face. It should be obvious now that he was always serious about moving out if it came to that.
But even that day that I moved you two out, he came home and didn't say anything to me about it.
I told him about everything that happened ahead of time, so he was probably pretty upset with you for what you'd done. Who can blame not wanting to talk to someone who was being so cruel to their partner? The only reason he stayed for as long as he did after that was to manage what to do with the rest of our things and find a new place for us to move into.
So, Tim isn't coming back then?
Yes, of course. It's not like we're living on the streets. Aurora and I did go to my parents' house for a time, but my older brother already lives there with his wife, so it was somewhat cramped. I really didn't want to impose longer than I had to, so Tim was quick to arrange a new place for us to move into. I'm nothing but grateful for how reliable he is in a pinch.
So in other words, Tim isn't coming back.
To summarize everything briefly, yes. He is the person who had everything arranged with the new place after all. It wouldn't exactly make sense for him to go through the effort of finding a new place for our family and not also move in with us. In hindsight, I guess that makes it pretty clear who he's prioritizing.
What the hell? A son cannot just abandon his mother. You must have twisted him to your evil plans. If he wants to cut me out of his life so badly, then I'll just go ahead and do it for him. Let that be a lesson to him that it's better to be the first to cut ties in these sorts of things. Better to dump than be dumped, as it were.
If that's how you feel, then that's what I'll tell him. Some time apart might be the best for everyone right now.
Yes, and make sure you spell it out for him. Tell him that I will be totally fine without him. In fact, I can't imagine that I'll miss any of you at all. I'm sure I'll be too busy to even think about you with my grandchild soon on the way. I doubt the thought of you will even cross my mind.
If that's what you want, I'll tell him exactly that. Are you sure you're fine with that?
Collett's husband is wealthy, and that girl, unlike you two, is kind to her mother. I'm sure that they will look after me. So I'll have no use for you.
Good. I hope everything works out that way. It sounds like there's nothing to worry about.
Once the child is born, I'm sure it'll be better without any hindrances in the house. Farewell, then. Alice, how are you?
Is there something up that you feel the need to message me?
Oh, I'm just curious about how everything has been with you all lately.
We've been doing well. Aurora and I in particular are enjoying life without an evil grandmother hating on us every moment we're around her.
You really have been doing well.
Thinking about it now, you really did do us a favor by kicking us out that day. Before that, there was always some hesitation about whether it would be okay for us to leave or not. We honestly felt like it wouldn't be the right thing to do.
Hesitation? What are you talking about?
I had brought up leaving with Tim a number of times, worrying that the situation with you was a little much for Aurora. I mean, heaven forbid your behavior had left her with any long-lasting trauma or something worse. But even with that as a consideration, we could never really find the right time to leave.
So, I guess what I did only helped in pushing you out.
Yes, it was a big help. You were the one who gave us a reason to finally leave. So I would say that was a great development for us. I should probably thank you for doing that. But your heart wasn't in the right place. I'm not sure you really deserve any thanks.
I can't believe what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, I didn't expect for that to be nearly as much of a shock as it apparently is. Anyway, what is it that you need from me today?
It's just Aurora won't speak to me. I was wondering if she was doing all right.
Okay, thank you for worrying about her, but there's really no need. She is as happy as I've ever seen her. She's been noticeably brighter without her grandmother's constant harassment. It seems we were right in thinking that your influence on her was pretty toxic.
Are you sure she's doing well? She could be faking it, you know. You know how kids are. They'll do anything to avoid worrying their parents. Knowing Aurora, she would try and move heaven and earth for you too.
I know she would. She really is as good of a child as a mother could hope for.
Well, Are you sure she's doing well?
Yes, of course. The difference is plainly obvious in how she acts day to day. Like you said, she didn't want to worry either of us, so she would try to ignore your antics as much as she could. But it seems like she was pretty bothered by how you treated me.
It did, but she always seemed so unfazed.
Yes, we had noticed that she would dissociate from time to time when we were home, and you were going off on another one of your hate-filled tirades against me. Thankfully, that seems to have entirely gone away now that we're at the new place. After we moved out, she told me that she always hated seeing you do that. Now I feel terrible that we even had her in that position for as long as we did.
You know, about that, I regret some of what I did as well.
Well, I would hope you would after hearing what you were doing to your granddaughter. Even if you don't want to admit it, she is of your flesh and blood, and that should mean something to you.
Yes, things do seem different now that I know how everyone felt. Look, why don't we try the whole cohabitation thing again? I think we can make amends and start anew.
Cohabitation? Between who and who?
You three and me, of course.
You're suggesting that you want strangers to move in with you. That sounds a bit weird, don't you think? And you were very clear about how you felt about your relationship with Aurora and I.
Oh, you know I didn't mean that. It was all a joke. And I'll even go as far as to admit that it was in poor taste.
Oh, it was a joke, was it? And since you're not the type to lie, I guess I can take your word for it. But honestly, it sure didn't sound like a joke at the time.
It wasn't a lie. It's that thing that the kids do nowadays. Banter, I think it's called. I figured I could be more relatable to Aurora by doing that. So there you have it. Just please, come home.
But you have your beloved daughter Collett, don't you? And a cute grandchild as well? I thought that was the life you wanted.
It's what I thought I wanted at first. But things didn't go quite as I'd imagined. The child was delivered successfully. Then things settled down and Collett went back home. But then the next thing I knew, she was back at my doorstep, baby in tow.
So did something happen that she couldn't stay at her place with her husband? She wasn't back for round 2, I presume.
Of course not. That wouldn't even be possible time-wise. If you can believe it, what actually happened was much worse. She was kicked out of her house by her husband.
Kicked out? What did she do? It must have been pretty bad for him to kick out his wife and his newborn baby.
Apparently, her husband thought that she was suspicious or something. Something she did or said must have caused him to doubt her, so he demanded a paternity test. And based on the results of that, there was a 0.01% chance that the child was his.
Oh my, that is quite the scandal.
And now they're getting a divorce and Collett owes a tremendous amount of money to him.
Well, that is quite the way to find out your wife was cheating on you. You can't really blame him for being upset, although I probably wouldn't have been so hard on her.
And then, this is the real outrageous part. That girl is making me do all the work looking after her baby. She's turned into a bum. All Collett does anymore is eat her 3 meals and sleep the rest of the day.
At least there are plenty of rooms to sleep in after we moved out. I'm happy for you nonetheless.
How could you be? There's nothing good about any of this.
Well, you're getting to live with your beautiful daughter Collett and your only grandchild. Didn't you get exactly the life you were hoping for? It might not be exactly how you imagined, but I distinctly remember you saying that this is what you wanted.
She's hardly beautiful now, especially with all the constant crying. It's a wonder she has any tears left. And the child is almost as bad the way she blows through money on milk and diapers. I have hardly anything of my pension left at the end of the month.
That does sound pretty bad.
So please, come home and save me from this. And if you could, the child is just too much for me to handle by myself.
That's Collett's job to look after her child. She should be the one to do it.
She's of no help now. Whatever I say goes in one ear and out the other.
Well, if that isn't just exactly like you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. I guess it's up to you to look after the child then. It might be in your best interest to try and do something for Collett to get back on her feet. I know doing things for others is tough for you, though.
If there was something I could do, I would. Trust me. It would be good for her as much as it would be for me. But she is truly hopeless for the time being. So if you won't help out at home, then please, if you would, help us financially. I've called Tim about this a number of times, but he never answers.
Tim is pretty mad at you. He doesn't show it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's still mad as well. I remember him even saying he never wants to see you again, which seemed like a harsh thing to say about one's biological mother at the time, but it just goes to show how angry you made him. Though I will say that I certainly sympathize with not wanting anything to do with you.
Please don't say that. I really am desperate, and you are just making it worse. Look, I know about what you've been up to.
Do you? What have I been up to?
You've been making quite the name for yourself with your quilt art. Collett was just doing an online interview the other day and said she came across your storefront.
Oh, she did she? I guess it's a small world. Thanks to that, I'll be able to list everything and advertise my good reviews. I even completely sold out of my current stock.
Exactly, so you're doing more than fine when it comes to money, right? Then why can't a little bit of that come my way?
Because I don't want to give you any? I've decided that I'll be holding a seminar on how I assemble my products, and I'll need some startup money to get that rolling. It's one of those you have to spend money to make money kind of things. So I really don't have any room for frivolous expenditures at the moment.
Are you saying that it would be wasteful to help us out monetarily?
I can't imagine what else it would be than a waste.
God, that's just so heartless. Even after I told you how much we're struggling to get by.
Just like you, I'm not the lying type either, so you can't blame me for telling you the truth.
Fine. Then why don't I go to you? That'll be fine, won't it? If you just send me your new address, I can handle the rest.
There's no way I'm going to do that. We're strangers after all, and I'm afraid that is a little too personal of information for me to feel comfortable sharing it with you.
Too personal. We're family, for God's sake.
Family? No, we're strangers, and those are your words, not mine. You're the one who told me that and then kicked me out of the house. But I guess we do have to kick that bad habit of referring to you as mother. It seemed natural when we were living together, but now it's clearly not appropriate, is it?
I'm still your mother-in-law.
I'm afraid I have some work to get to. Excuse me then, Susan.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'll apologize for everything I've done. Please forgive me. Come back. Help me.
With Collett and her baby now on the payroll, Susan is having to work odd jobs from dawn till dusk just to make ends meet. Her life now sounds pretty miserable with how much of a burden Collett has become, not to mention the added responsibilities of taking care of such a young child. I guess her pension alone isn't quite enough to sustain a family of 3. Susan sent me numerous messages begging me to give her some help, and it was honestly getting tedious to deal with her, so I ended up changing my number. Tim was the next target of her solicitations, but after ignoring her for as long as he could, he eventually blocked her number. Things are great for us, on the other hand. I've been having a wonderful time in our new place and just finished holding my first quilting class. It was nice to see so much planning being rewarded. Aurora, too, is doing better than ever, so there's little more that I could possibly ask for. How blessed I am to have such a happy family. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. See you in the next one.